What's up, guys, and welcome to the Principles to Lose Fat for Life. This is for you if you don't want to spend hours and hours in the gym or in the kitchen, cooking, learning, training over and over and over again. If you can't stick to a diet plan, if you have before but you always regain the weight, if you don't want to count calories and track points for the rest of your life, if you're sick of cutting out foods that you love only to see barely any progress on the scale week over week, if you've never found a diet that you want to stick to for the rest of your life, and this is for you if you want to get amazing results, but you want those results to easily last you forever. What we know at this point in fitness and weight loss and health is that losing weight is actually easy. Most people who start a weight loss program will end up losing some amount of weight. And there's millions and millions of solutions out there on how you can lose weight. The problem is that 95 to 98% of the people that start a weight loss journey will end up gaining it all back. And two-thirds of them will end up gaining more fat than they had when they started, all within a few years. And the accepted reason in the fitness industry is that you're to blame. It's because you can't stick to it, you're not disciplined, you don't follow through, whatever, whatever. People who lose weight and gain it back multiple times on the yo yo diet, on average, have a significantly higher body fat percentage, a slower running metabolism, less lean mass overall. And the more times they do that, they lose weight slower and gain it back much quicker every single time. The standard advice that is given and followed across the fitness industry is that you got to eat less and exercise more. Duh, right? You got to cut your calories back, sometimes 1,200, 1,500. You got to do more cardio and do workouts that burn calories, training in the fat burning zone, which isn't real, by the way. You got to eat small meals throughout the day to boost your metabolism, avoid white carbs, don't eat foods after 6 p.m., and just stick to it long term. That's what everybody's going to tell you. If it's not working, then you need to just try harder and continue to stick to it. Stick to the plan over and over and over again. Be keto or paleo or vegan or whatever. Take these pills to lose weight. Drink this smoothie, the ultimate smoothie program. Do this amazing workout program. And all you got to do is keep trying harder and stick to it. And eventually it'll work. That's what everybody's telling you. And that's what most people have followed forever when they come to me. Here's an example of Dan, who followed that for 60 plus years, then started following the principles and dropped 100 pounds in just a couple of months and has kept it off for years. Maggie didn't even start until mid to late 60s, able to lose it, keep it off for years. Stan didn't even start until 60, overweight forever. Follow the principles, lose it, keep it off for years easily. So why do people struggle so much to keep weight off? Well, they follow plans that are unsustainable or that they simply don't enjoy. They have zero understanding of how it actually works, the mechanisms at play, and the things they need to consider. They focus on the wrong things at the wrong times. They try to make way too many changes all at once. They try to achieve their results way too quickly. Part of it's because everything advertises lose 30 pounds in 30 days or whatever. They set themselves up for easy failure and for rapid regain by going through these different programs, and they're overwhelmed by the terrible advice that everybody in the fitness industry is giving, and then they're blamed for their struggles. That's why people really, really struggle to lose weight. What they don't understand is that your body's going to adapt to what you put it through, and the faster you lose it, the faster your body's going to adapt. The faster your body adapts, the faster you are going to regain the weight that you lost. Drastic changes will slow down your metabolism too quickly, and if you're not aware of it, that's where you plateau, get frustrated, and relapse. And understanding that all results achieved from an unsustainable program are unsustainable results. So it doesn't matter if the program works over the short term if it's unsustainable, because no matter what you get from it, it will go away. You will lose those results. Stop trying to do that. Everyone is searching for or using the perfect program on paper. What's optimal? What's the healthiest? What they should be doing is prioritizing practicality above all else. Is this something that you're going to practice for the rest of your life? And if it's not, you probably shouldn't use it. So what's my goal here? I'm not here to teach you a new diet, not a new diet system, not new diet rules, or some sort of secret system that nobody else knows about. That's not what we're doing here. I'm here to teach you how to take any diet or any program that you choose to do and make that program work for you no matter what. So it doesn't matter if you follow keto or vegan or anything else. What we're doing is making sure that what you do will be easier for you to do, more effective for you to do it, and far more sustainable over the long term. What I'm going to do is teach you how to easily control the variables that you need to control in order to maximize your overall weight loss potential, its sustainability, and as a result, your quality of life. I'm going to teach you how to reduce the variables that are complex and elusive and keep the entire system as stable as possible. And my goal here is to get you started taking action on that immediately so you can feel the effects right away. So, who am I exactly? Well, I'm going to start off by telling you what I'm not. I'm not some sort of fitness guru. I'm not one of these former competitors that has been ripped and shredded and has a body and is teaching you do it like me. I'm not some former coach of the elite competitive bodybuilders. I'm not someone with a brand new solution that I'm selling you. I'm not someone who's trying to sell you miracle supplements off the shelf, miracle pills. I'm not making insane claims like I'm flipping the fitness industry on its head, whatever that means. I'm not some sort of biohacker, which is a new thing I've been seeing all over the place and isn't real. That's not me. I'm not teaching or claiming or doing or giving anything that is not supported by a whole bunch of scientific literature. That's really important to understand. So, who am I exactly? I'm just a father and a husband. I'm a business owner. I'm a coach. That's it. I'm a normal person who has been through things just like each and every one of you. And I'm someone who loves people. I'm someone who loves to learn. I'm someone who loves to test and experiment and try and just experience the things for the joy of it. And what I do is I help busy professionals keep fat off of their bodies forever. But more specifically, I help people who are 40 years and older working full time. They're very career driven, high stress jobs. They're family oriented professionals who have limited time, limited energy, who've struggled to lose weight or to keep it off, who don't want to give up time away from their career or their family or however else they want to spend their time in order to get their results. So, my story, I've been a personal trainer coach for over 15 years now, and I have tried everything. I've done bodybuilding split routines, hit training classes, courses, powerlifting competitively. I've done CrossFit. I've done a whole bunch of the Les Mills aerobics classes. I've gone through Couch to 5K programs and ultra marathon training programs. I've done the paleo diet for a long period of time. I've tried Atkins, ketogenic, vegan. I did counting macros. I did the Weight Watchers program, not literally enrolled in Weight Watchers, but I followed their same point system for diets. I even did the HCG diet, and that's a true story. And I'll tell you the story sometime about how one of my clients, who happens to be a doctor, yelled at me because I started to look like a skeleton and my eyes were sunken in. It was a terrible idea to do it, but it was, an experiment, the experience that I wanted to learn. So I've been there. Things that I've done. I've gained 60 pounds of fat in just a 6-month window, and then I carried that fat for longer than a year. I've lost 20 pounds in just 30 days, and it was mostly legit 20 pounds in that 30-day window. I've lost 50 pounds quickly, the quote unquote right way, and then had life experiences that caused me to slowly regain it back. I've done restrictive diets, starvation diets. I've been in great, amazing shape, and I have been in terrible, terrible shape. I know what it's like to struggle to manage my time, and I know what it's like to struggle to manage my body weight because of my struggle to manage my time. Over the last 18 years, I have been through these experiences in this order. I lost 25 pounds of lean body mass when I was very, very sick. Then recovering from that, I gained 60 pounds in just a 6-month window. And then I kept that weight on for more than a year. And it was mostly fat weight that I had regained back. Then, over the 2-year window, I slowly and steadily lost 50 pounds of fat mass, got down to being very lean and very healthy. And then, due to work and stress and overwhelm, slowly gained it all right back. And then I did a hardcore, badass program and dropped 50 pounds quickly. I got my body fat percentage down to around 10%. I was a competitive power lifter. I was a runner. I was super fit. Then stress and work happened again, and I slowly gained it all back. And then I dropped a lot of fat and built a lot of muscle, got super fit, super healthy, looked great by doing CrossFit. And then work got overwhelming as the business grew. And then from stress and crazy hours, I slowly gained it all back. Then I quickly dropped 30 pounds right before my wedding by dieting and being very strict. And then during my wife's first pregnancy, gained 35 pounds of fat to be at the second heaviest and fattest that I ever was. And then Slowly and steadily lost that 55 pounds, built a ton of muscle, kept it off easily by following all of the principles that I teach, and have maintained that comfortably and easily in spite of crazy hours, 2 kids, pandemic shutdown, overwhelming size business, maintain that easily for 4 years. That is the process of how I have gone through all of this to actually come up with these principles. Now, the story of how I developed the principles by training with my clients is I started out as a coach. I had a bunch of clients get amazing, super fast results. And then I had some that continued to get slow results and some who got amazing results at first and then stalled. But what I noticed is that nearly every single one of those clients regained that weight once they had stopped working with me and moved on. A bunch of them came back, started again, same process. A bunch of them, or a handful of them, got very fast, amazing results. Some slower, some got some results and then stalled, and then repeat. They stop training and they gain it back. Most clients, most trainers, myself included, follow that same pattern where they would lose weight, slowly gain it back. In fact, 95% of people regain the weight that they lost, and most will end up fatter than when they started. That is a universal trend across the entire fitness industry. And everybody everywhere had an amazing weight loss plan, but nobody anywhere had a plan for how to sustain it once you lost it. There was no transition to what to do now. And the fitness industry is so full of gurus pushing crazy false claims and using the this is what I do, copy me method. Look at my body, look at my fitness. If you just do this the way that I do this, you can have this body too. Yet, in spite of all these solutions and all these people with all these ideas, the success rate is still less than 5%. So I got to studying, experimenting, writing, reviewing, testing again and again, every single thing that I could get my hands on because I wanted to know, why are so few people successful long term? I knew how to help them lose weight, but how do I help them stick to this new body weight forever? So I asked my successful clients, the ones that did manage to keep the weight off long term, what made them successful. And they all had basically the same answer. They said, Michael, you made it so simple. I know exactly what to focus on and what to worry about, and it all just makes sense to me. And it was knowledge, it was understanding all of the mechanisms at play and what they needed to understand that led them to have the confidence and the control to maintain that weight loss long term. So I got busy. I started looking at what was working for people across the board. And then I wanted to learn why that method or tactic was working for people. And then I wanted to learn and focused on who was using that and why it was working for them. And then I wanted to learn under what other circumstances could the same results be replicated with different methods, different tactics. And then I looked at who was using all of these methods and programs, but was failing to have success where other groups were succeeding. And then I looked at when and why and how they were failing to try to figure out what was causing the successes and what was causing the failures. So my goal was if I could figure out a pattern for who was successful and why, and for who was failing and why, maybe we could identify the variables that we would need to control to ensure more people were more successful long term. So I was looking for what was consistent across the board. And that is how we arrived at what would be our principles. We pulled the things out that were consistent across the board. And if I could teach people how to easily build a system to implement these principles, their probability of success would increase dramatically, and sustainability of those results would ultimately become almost inevitable if they could just follow the principles with a system. So here are some pre-principles that are going to be very important to your success and make everything we're doing more effective and easier to implement. And the first general principle is take notes. This is one that I tell everybody, show up and take notes, because if you're not successful immediately, the solution is going to be in your notes. And if you're not making progress like you think you should be making progress, the answer to that question is going to be in your notes. And if you're struggling or you're frustrated, the reason for that is going to be in your notes. The second general principle that we want to apply is just do it to see how it goes. You can do a short-term experiment just to learn a thing or two about it. You don't have to love it. You don't have to hate it. It doesn't need to be a huge success or a huge failure. You don't have to stick to it forever, but just be willing to try a thing just to see how it goes one time and then make a note on that experience. It's really good for learning. Choose practicality every time. If you won't literally start doing something to make a change immediately, and it's not something that you could potentially do forever, chances are you will never do it at all. And even if you do start with it a little bit, it's not going to stick. Choosing practicality means something that you are actually going to practice. So if you are choosing to do a thing that you're not willing to start immediately because you need more prep work or more time or more organization, that is likely a change that's never going to happen. Dump it. Just look for things that you will start doing and practicing immediately. And remember this principle, the time is now. If you won't start doing it immediately, and it's not something you could potentially do forever, chances are you will never do it. I know it's literally the same definition as the principle before, but the time is now. If you're not going to take one small step immediately, you're probably never going to do it. So practice in principle, the time is now, take a small step, something that you are willing to practice immediately. Do it. Then be patient. This is a key principle across all categories and elements of principles. Be willing to follow the process to learn. If you're in a hurry, you're probably missing more than half of what you should be seeing. If you go half as fast, you're probably going to see twice as much as everybody else, and that's going to give you a huge advantage. Huge advantage. Go through the process to learn. Be patient. See as much as you possibly can. Okay. Well, here we go. So here's a strategy. What we want to do is build structures that are going to allow you to keep the changes forever. So we have our little progress bar here. You make that progress, but what we want is for all of those changes that you make to stay with you forever. So it doesn't matter what progress you make or what speed you make it if it doesn't stick. But no matter what, if you build systems and you build practices that will stay forever and reinforce your ability to stay forever, then no matter what comes your way, if you build the structures correctly, it will stand. This is just a picture of the oldest building in the world. Its structures were built the right way, so it doesn't matter what life brings you, because life will bring you storms. It will bring you earthquakes. It will bring you chaos. It will bring you stress. It will bring you a change of schedule. It will bring you a change of jobs. It will bring you all kinds of crap. But if you build the structures and the framework correctly, it will stand through anything. And that is true of what we're trying to do here with diet and with exercise. If you build the right structures, then it doesn't really matter what you do to the outside of it and the way that it looks and what it does. And that's why I wrote here, at different times, you'll want to do different things in a different way for different reasons. And that's totally fine. How many days a week are you going to exercise? What's your goal with exercise? What kind of diet plan are you going to follow or not follow? What kind of leniency are you going to be in? What kind of phase are you going to be in? What do you want to do? Where do you want to travel? Where do you want to live? What kind of things do you want to eat this week, next week, this weekend? All of those things are always up in the air and they're always going to change and be different. And that's totally fine. And that's why I chose the building analogy, because whatever this building is used for right now, you could restructure it, rebuild it, and repurpose it time and time again. But the point is, the structures that went into holding it up will always be the same, no matter how it's used or what it looks like on the outside. And that is true of us and our systems and the things that we want to do. You might want to go on vacation. You might want to eat leftovers. You might want to have holidays. You might want to not have to eat a salad every single day for lunch. I don't know. Whatever the reasons are, it's okay that they're going to change. So what we want to do is focus on the structures that will prop us up and make us successful over the long term. So here's the strategy or the philosophy as a whole. First, eat to prevent disease. Then second, eat to perform. And third, and finally, eat to lose weight if we need to get there. Now, almost everybody approaches it backwards, even if they paint it to look otherwise. And by backwards, we mean they're focused on eating to lose weight. And if it seems like we're going backwards, where losing weight is our last priority on principles for fat loss, that's actually not the case. If we can make the system as healthy as possible and understand that disease is all kinds of metabolic diseases, but weight gain and obesity are a disease or a symptom of a disease. If we do things to prevent that and fix the system as a whole, weight loss is an inevitable byproduct, and fat loss is an inevitable byproduct of making the system healthier. But just trying to cut weight does not ensure or guarantee that the system will be healthier. And that's where people get stuck in a loop and regain the weight. It's impossible to really clarify what it means to eat to prevent disease in our world because there's so many different arguments. For example, you should eat vegan because meats and animal-based products are the leading cause of disease in the world. And by avoiding them, you'll be supremely healthy by eating vegan. But also at the same time, you should be a carnivore and eat on the carnivore diet, because lean meats and things high in fat, and limiting your carbohydrate intake, because carbs are the leading cause of disease in the world. So if you eat a carnivore diet, you'll be the healthiest. But also at the same time, you should eat a bunch of small meals throughout the day. Keep your metabolism functioning at a fast rate and burning all day long, and this will help you to be healthier and lose weight. But also at the same time, intermittent fasting is where you should go, 16 to 20 hours without eating at all, because that's going to help you be healthier and lose weight, even though, it's the opposite of small meals. Whatever you do, don't eat carbs after 6 p.m. because they're going to turn into fat while you sleep, because you're not going to be using them. Unless, of course, you follow the carb backloading diet, which means you only eat carbs after 6 p.m. because that's going to supercharge your metabolism and get you shredded. You should do low fat because fat makes you fat, but you should do low carb because carbs make you fat. Don't eat too much protein because it's bad for your kidneys and it will kill you. You should eat clean because calories don't matter when you eat clean, but you should still count all of your calories and measure your stuff. But also, all of our crops are sprayed with horrible chemicals that are going to kill you. So don't eat too much of those fruits and vegetables either. Also, just don't even eat fruit at all because it's going to be straight sugar and kill you. Also, don't eat most vegetables because the lectins in them are also going to kill you. This is the advice if you spend 5 minutes doing a Google search. So no matter what you do, it's going to kill you. No matter what you eat, it's going to kill you. And in a recent meta-analysis of 10,000 studies on health and diet, they all collectively agree that nearly every single person on the planet will die at some point during their lifetime. And this is why it's so hard to figure out how to eat to prevent disease, because this is the overwhelming amount of crap information that's being dumped on us constantly. So what do we do? What do we do in this situation where all of this conflicting information with scientific evidence to back it up is being thrown at us? Well, what we do is we stick to the tried and true. We stick to the principles that have been true and have always been true and will always, always be true. But before we actually finally get into those principles, I'm going to give you some pro tips and some more pre-principles that will be super important for us. One, start thinking in bets. Start asking what will give you the highest probability of a positive outcome the most often, because nothing is certain, nothing is perfect, and nothing is going to work out exactly as we expect it to. Nothing is guaranteed. So allow for some flexibility and start viewing everything in bets and probabilities. What is going to increase our odds or decrease our odds? And start playing the game that way. It's going to be far more effective. And understand that methods are more important to you right now than mechanisms. So choose methods over mechanisms. Focus on the methods that are going to lead you to your success and start using them as soon as you possibly can. Learn only as much as you need to about the mechanisms that make it effective, and then you can gain the rest of your knowledge over time and from experience. What that means is, why does the ketogenic diet actually work for you to lose weight is less important than using it to be successful, understanding that it is the right choice. Then you can worry about the mechanisms over the long term. But the methods, if you have a method that works for you, start using it. Don't obsess over the why just yet. Learn that slowly as you go. That's one that is meant to help you take some action. Okay. So think about those things, and then you can click the link and move on over to the one pager, and we're going to go over the first 11 principles for fat loss. Let's do it.